You've been told that monsters are things that live under your bed, that they lurk in the shadows, hide in nightmares, and exist far away from the light of day. But what happens when the monster is you? What happens when you stop pretending to be something you're not? When you stop suppressing that fire inside, the one that keeps burning, even when the world tells you it shouldn't? I'm not here to ask for your forgiveness. I'm not here to play nice or to beg for a second chance. I've become something you can't control, something you can't destroy with your empty words and judgmental stares. I've embraced the darkness you shoved me into. And now I'm the monster you created, the one that doesn't need your approval, the one that doesn't need your forgiveness. Pain. It's what fuels the monster. Every cut, every scar, every time the world knocked me down, it built something inside of me. At first, I fought it. I tried to hold on to who I was, tried to cling to the person I thought I needed to be. I wanted to be accepted. I wanted to be loved. I wanted to fit into your world, into your expectations. But that's not how life works, is it? You only ever saw me as weak. You used my kindness as a weapon against me. You smiled in my face while burying the blade in my back. I didn't see it at first. I was blind to it. But the pain woke me up. It showed me who you really are and who I really am. I realized that all those scars you left, they weren't just wounds, they were lessons. And the biggest lesson I learned? Kindness makes you a target. It makes you easy prey for the vultures that circle above, waiting for the moment you're too weak to fight back. So I stopped fighting the pain. I stopped trying to escape it. I embraced it. I let it transform me, shape me into something stronger, something darker. Now, I'm not just the victim of your cruelty. I'm the monster you never thought I'd become. They told you to be nice, didn't they? To smile, even when you're breaking inside. To stay silent when your soul is screaming out for help. They told you that forgiveness is a virtue, that turning the other cheek makes you stronger. What they didn't tell you is that the world will chew you up and spit you out if you follow those rules. Forgiveness? It's a lie. It's a chain they use to bind you to your past, to make you small, to make you compliant. They want you to stay soft so they can keep taking from you, keep draining you dry. But here's the truth. When you're constantly giving, there's nothing left for yourself. And when you have nothing left, they move on to the next victim. I stopped listening to their lies. I stopped trying to forgive those who never deserved it. Forgiveness is for the weak, for the ones who still believe that people can change. But monsters? Monsters don't change. And that's what I've become. I've stopped pretending that there's a version of me that's palatable for the world. I don't fit into your mold, and I never will. You see, there's power in embracing what the world fears. The darkness that once scared me now feels like home. It's where I thrive, where I've learned to sharpen my edges, to strengthen my mind. In the darkness, I found myself. I found a version of me that doesn't need to be validated by anyone else. The monster that I am now. It's strong because it doesn't rely on the approval of others. It doesn't care if you think I've gone too far, if you think I've become something to fear. I learned a long time ago that the world doesn't care about your struggles, your pain, your battles. It only cares about one thing, control. And the moment you break free from that control, you become dangerous. You become something they can't predict, something they can't manipulate. The darkness taught me that real strength isn't in smiling through the pain or pretending everything's okay. Real strength is in owning your scars, in standing tall even when the world tries to tear you down. It's in knowing that you don't owe anyone anything. Not your kindness, not your forgiveness, and certainly not your compliance. I stand here now, not as the broken person I once was, but as something else, something raw, something powerful. You can call it a monster if you want. Hell, maybe I am a monster. But I'm a monster with purpose, a monster that doesn't need to justify itself to anyone. I don't need your validation. I don't need your understanding. Monsters don't ask for permission. They take what's theirs. They carve out their place in the world with their own hands. And that's exactly what I've done. I took every piece of pain, every betrayal, every bitter word, and used it to build myself up. Each scar is a reminder that I survived when you thought I would break. There's a twisted beauty in that, isn't there? That the thing you tried so hard to destroy only grew stronger. You wanted to break me. You wanted to control me. But now, the monster I am doesn't bow to anyone. Forgiveness is a chain that binds you to the past. It keeps you tethered to the people who wronged you, to the moments that broke you. But I've cut those chains. I don't need forgiveness, not from you, not from anyone. People will tell you that holding on to anger, onto hate, will destroy you. But they're wrong. What destroys you is holding on to the belief that you need to be forgiven, that you need to be understood. The moment you let go of that, the moment you stop caring about what the world thinks, you become free. The monster I've become. It's free because it doesn't need to be liked. It doesn't need to be accepted. And it sure as hell doesn't need forgiveness. The world loves to create monsters. It pushes you, breaks you, tests you, and then acts surprised when you stop playing by its rules. It loves to act like it's the victim when the very thing it created fights back. But I didn't ask to be pushed. I didn't ask to be broken. I didn't ask for any of it. But now that I'm here, now that I've embraced the monster inside me, I'm not turning back. I'm not going to pretend to be someone I'm not, just to make the world comfortable. I've become something the world can't contain, something it can't control. The beauty of being the monster? You don't need their permission to exist. You don't need to apologize for what you've become. The world may have built me, but it has no claim on me now. I'm free from its expectations, from its need to define who I am. Fear is power. The moment people fear you, they stop underestimating you. They stop thinking they can walk all over you. They stop assuming you're weak. Being feared isn't something to run from, it's something to embrace. It means people see the strength in you, the edge, the ruthlessness that they know they can't break. Before, I wanted to be liked. I wanted to be accepted. I thought being part of the crowd would give me the peace I was searching for. But the truth is, peace doesn't come from blending in. It doesn't come from being liked. It comes from standing on your own. From knowing that no one has power over you, not anymore. Fear puts you in control. It means no one dares to cross you because they know what happens if they do. It means you are no longer at the mercy of others. And in this world, that's the greatest power you can have. People may not love me, they may not understand me, but they sure as hell will fear me. And that fear, it keeps them in line. It keeps them from daring to think they can break me again. Of course, everything comes with a price. Becoming the monster means shedding the parts of yourself that once craved connection, that once hoped for love, for compassion. You have to let go of the illusion that those things will save you, that they will make you whole. Because they won't. They never did. There's a loneliness that comes with this transformation. When you stop caring about being forgiven, when you stop seeking approval, you also stop relying on others to give you a sense of worth. You learn to stand on your own, to find power in solitude. But that solitude, it's cold, it's empty, and you have to learn to live with that. I had to bury the part of me that longed for connection. That part of me died the moment I realized that the world wasn't going to save me. It was never going to give me what I needed. The cost of becoming the monster is high. You lose the softness, the vulnerability. But what you gain in return is something far more valuable. You gain strength. You gain freedom. They'll tell you that you're too far gone, that you've lost yourself, that you've become something ugly, something unrecognizable. But who are they to decide what's right or wrong? Who are they to dictate how you should live your life, what path you should walk? The beauty of being the monster is that you no longer play by their rules. You set your own standards, your own boundaries. You don't bend to their expectations or their demands. And once you've tasted that kind of freedom, there's no going back. They want to define you. They want to put you in a box, label you, control you. But I refuse to be defined by anyone's standards but my own. I refuse to live up to the image of who they think I should be. The monster I've become doesn't need their approval, doesn't need their validation, and it certainly doesn't need their forgiveness. Indifference is a weapon. It's the shield that protects you from the opinions, the judgments, the criticisms of those who have no place in your life. When you stop caring about what they think, when you stop allowing their words to cut into you, you become untouchable. I used to care too much. I let their opinions define me, let their words poison my mind. But now their opinions fall on deaf ears. Their judgments are meaningless. I don't need their praise. I don't need their acceptance, and I definitely don't need their apologies. You see, when you become indifferent to their opinions, you strip away their power. They can no longer hurt you because you no longer care. Their words, their actions, they're just noise. Noise that fades into the background, meaningless and hollow. The monster I am wears indifference like armor. It's what keeps me safe. It's what allows me to keep moving forward without being dragged down by the weight of their expectations. Let's face it, people love a redemption story. They love the idea of someone who falls, only to rise again, begging for forgiveness, promising to change. They want to believe that everyone is capable of redemption, that everyone can be forgiven if they just try hard enough. But what if you don't want forgiveness? What if you don't need redemption? I don't need to be forgiven for what I've become. I don't need to apologize for the path I've walked. Because every step, every decision, every transformation led me to where I am now. And where I am now? It's exactly where I need to be. They won't forgive me. And I don't care. They'll look at me and see someone who's beyond saving. And they're right. I don't need to be saved. I don't want to be saved. The monster I've become is who I was always meant to be. Forgiveness is for the weak. It's for those who still cling to the hope that they can be accepted by a world that has never truly accepted them. But me? I've let go of that hope. I've let go of the need to be understood, to be loved, to be forgiven. I look at who I used to be, and I don't recognize that person anymore. The person who cared too much. The person who sought approval, who wanted to be liked, to be forgiven. That person is gone. And in their place stands someone unbreakable. Someone who doesn't need the world's love or its forgiveness. You see, becoming the monster isn't about losing yourself. It's about finding the parts of you that were buried deep. The parts you were too scared to embrace because you were afraid of what the world would think. But once you let go of that fear, once you embrace the darkness within, you realize that the monster was always there. It was always a part of you. You just had to set it free. I'm not going back. I'm not returning to the person I was. Because the monster I've become, it's stronger, it's sharper, it's free. I don't need your forgiveness. I don't need your approval. I am the monster, and that is enough. So here I stand, unapologetic, unbroken, and unforgiving. The monster I am needs no forgiveness because I don't need to fit into the world's mold. I don't need to be understood. I don't need to be liked. All I need is to be me, the raw, unfiltered, unapologetic version of myself that refuses to bow down to anyone. I'm not here to ask for redemption. I'm here to tell you that sometimes becoming the monster is the only way to survive. And once you embrace that truth, you'll realize that the monster inside you doesn't need forgiveness. It just needs to be set free. That's all. I'm out. By the way, if you want to level up in life, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel.